Fingersnaps Media Arts.
Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Flip once, flip twice, remembered. I welcome you to my demonstration of Kumbu Kumbu. Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Flip once, flip twice, remembered. Now Kumbu Kumbu is a combination of its 28 original photographs of people, places, and things taken here in San Francisco and around the world. It's photographs I've taken myself during my nighttime photography. And again, just random individuals from around the world, places, and things. And Kumbu Kumbu is a visual memory card game, which is the concentration game, which is the match game. It's a classic game that I played when I was in grade school back in the 70s, and it was instrumental in my learning. It was one of the few learning tools that helped boost my confidence and also helped me develop a very keen and sharp memory. So Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Comes with a nice little handy booklet. It's a 4-page booklet with the logo itself. And Kumbu Kumbu means memory in Swahili. And best practices. Basically, best practices to enjoy Kumbu Kumbu. As far as age, it could be youth to seniors, from solo to numerous individuals. There's 55 cards that come in the deck, and the optimum playing surface is a flat playing deck. That can be your kitchen table, your coffee table, or on the floor, but most importantly, just a flat surface. The game challenge can be from 2 to 10 cards. That's easy. That may be recommended for working with smaller children or for someone that just has attention challenges. From 10 to 24 cards is moderate, and 24 to 55 cards is perplexing. And the most important thing is that you have 2 of the same cards laid out if you're playing with the smaller decks. I'm going to run through, and on the back is just the credits of where the card game was made, which was here at Fingersnaps Media Arts. It was designed and crafted here in the heart and soul of the Mission District. And it has my contact information and my website. So Kumbu Kumbu. It comes in this nice little handy plastic package so that you can protect your cards. Now, one of the big differences that I feel between a traditional concentration game or match game and Kumbu Kumbu is that Kumbu Kumbu is comprised of photography, original photography, as I mentioned. And it's artistic, so this is an artistic game within itself. The quality and the vividness of the images. And so it's a step above your typical concentration game that you will find at your toy store or online, because this came from the lens of an artistic project, yet turned into a practical interactive game. So Kumbu Kumbu. So the first thing that you want to do is to shuffle your cards. I shuffle them face up so you can just see the vividness. You can see the random images. This is a fun way to shuffle. Obviously, this will not work in Las Vegas, but we're not in Las Vegas. We're in San Francisco. So we do it our way. You shuffle the cards thoroughly. Once you collect them all, I'm just going to turn them upside down. And obviously I will not, if I ever try to be a dealer in Las Vegas, I can see that that's not my calling. But nevertheless, Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. So this is face down with the Kumbu Kumbu logo upright. This is just a fun way to shuffle it, I think. just more interactive, you know, really getting up in there, playing with the game, the cards itself. The idea is to shuffle them one more time. One more time. And after you feel that you've done a thorough shuffle, you lay the cards out in some form of organized pattern. It can be a disorganized pattern or it can be an organized pattern. Myself, I like symmetric, so I like things to be laid out symmetrically. What I recommend is 5 cards in a row if you're going to use the entire deck, the entire 55 cards. The idea, once you start playing the game, specifically if you're going to play with a group, the cards will shift just because they're being interacted with, and that adds to the challenge. Anything that changes the game adds to the adversity of the game overall, and also adds an advantage for someone else if you are remembering what is going on. So Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. This is it. So this is your playing deck. This is your board. All the cards are laid out, all 55 cards. So the idea is that Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Flip once, flip twice. Remember. Flip once, flip twice. Remember. Flip once, flip twice. Remember. That's the object of the game. At the beginning, it can be a little daunting and overwhelming because the idea is you're waking up the memory. You're working on your focus. You can't just turn on the focus. You got to ease into it. And this is a great way to just realize the intention of the game. Okay, I've seen this image before. Here we go. My first match. Flip once, flip twice. Remembered. So that's the object, is to find its match, to find the twin. This photograph was taken on Bay Street at 3:30 in the morning, maybe 4 a.m. And I was the only soul out there, human soul at least, wandering the streets of San Francisco. And it was just random photographs of light formation. I was playing with light nighttime photography, and it created this figure of a heart. Now, if you were playing with more than one, this game is ideal for solo, but if you're playing with another individual or a group, the idea is once you collect the double, you have the opportunity to play again. You're granted the next opportunity to play. If you do not find the double, then the chances rotate from person to person. So let's continue. Flip once. I think I saw that one. Flip twice. Flip once. Flip twice. Flip once. Flip twice. Flip once. Flip twice. Flip once. Flip twice. Oh. Flip once. Flip twice. There we go. I found its match. I found its twin. This photograph was taken in Scotland. It was on one of the many islands that I visited when I was there. It was one of the 5th of the Fooths, if I'm saying that correctly. And one of the wonderful things about being in Scotland is that it's overcast most of the time. It's foggy and gray. So many of the dwellings, the buildings, are painted vividly. And so it's very striking, the photographs themselves. I mean, the images and the subjects that I've taken themselves. So Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. You flip once, you flip twice. Oh, and sometimes you'll just get I wouldn't call it random, but you will find its match. Sometimes just flipping them over randomly. Again, there's no specific direction or pattern that you go in. You just choose whichever card calls to you, whichever card that you feel like you haven't ventured in a different part of your board, because it's very easy to just kind of stay in the same place over and over again. So these photographs were taken in Scotland as well. There was a lot of buoys in the water, and it was really fun, again, the contrast of the gray, the monotone of gray, and then these vivid popping colors of these buoys. Flip once, flip twice, remember. Flip once, oops, flip twice. Here we go. This photograph was taken at one of the longest days in my life. And I say that because I was flying back from Japan, and it was May 1st. When I arrived in San Francisco, 24 hours later, it was May 1st. So I woke up in flight over the Pacific Ocean, and Mother Nature created this canvas for me to capture. Many of my 99% of my photographs are not Photoshop enhanced. It's the original life as it was, the vividness and the beauty and the dynamics of life. And this is what Mother Nature created, and I captured it with my PowerShot camera. Flip once, flip twice, flip once, flip twice. And the more and more you flip, that's the idea, as you remember where they're located. So just imagine if I was playing with a group, the additional challenge that would be called out, because now you have cards flipping constantly, quickly, consistently, and depending on one's attention span and how one focuses, that can be your advantage and someone else's disadvantage. So remembering is key, how each card flips over. Here we go. Nope, see? Sometimes your confidence will bring you into a different direction, but you also can recover. This is during my nighttime photography as well, here in San Francisco on Powell Street. This was taken in April of this year at 3:30, maybe 4 a.m. in the morning. And what makes this photograph special is this is Powell Street, which is one of the busiest thoroughfares in San Francisco, specifically during tourist season. And there was no person to be seen from Powell and Market to as far as my eye could see. And I just thought it took my breath away when I felt and seen the dormancy, the quietness, and the stillness of Powell Street. Flip once. Oh, I've seen those toes before. Here we go. See? People, places, and things. This photograph was taken in Santa Cruz. I believe this person was a radical fairy, and because of just how they were dressed, and their toes were stunning. And I captured his toes, or their toes. So again, this is taken in Santa Cruz. So again, sometimes once you see one, you'll instantly remember where its matches. Flip once, flip twice. Usually for myself, when a game first starts, I feel overwhelmed because just the idea of the vastness of all the cards being out, the multitude of all the cards being out. And so I do feel a sense of dread at the beginning and uncertainty. But once I groove into it and get into it, I relax, and then I get into the spirit of the game, which is to remember. Some cards are similar as far as tones. Majority of the cards are black and white, and I do have some monochrome, some black and white, but most of them are colored. And I specifically chose cards that are similar in tone and shapes just to add a little additional challenge. Because you know the eye can be deceiving from time to time. Flip once, flip twice. Remembered. You can challenge yourself or you can challenge others. I think he is right here. Nope, he's not right there. When you're playing with the group, it's important to allow ample time for that your co-players can see the cards, and you want to make sure that you flip the cards over 100% when you're playing with a group so everyone can visualize the cards. Okay, that's just keeping it fair for everyone. This photograph is interesting because it's just where we are with computers today in 2020. This photograph was taken about 12 years ago, and it was taken at a Virgin Airlines terminal, customer service check-in at San Francisco Airport. And I was on a balcony overlooking the agent, and I captured his photograph. So again, the concept of the game is to find its match, find its twin. The game can be played at any pace that is suitable for yourself and or the group that you're working with. And as you know, when you're working with a group, that's where it's more dynamic because now you're balancing personalities. And that's what will make it really fun and riveting by working with the personalities, because everyone's going to play it on their own way. And the idea is that you tune into the energy of each other. Flip once, flip twice. So I'm seeing some similarities right here. Yep. This photograph, here's its twin, and this was taken in Berkeley, California. There's the footbridge that overwalks 280, or there's a footbridge that's over 80. And we were walking back from the marina one day, and it was just stunning, picturesque, and I stopped and took a photograph of the marina, the Berkeley Marina. Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Flip once, flip twice. And so duration and speed is not important. It's really just about your pace, where you are playing with yourself as a solo and or playing with a group dynamic. You know, chances are when you are playing with a group, it's going to be extremely dynamic because just the energy, again, of personalities. This photograph was taken at a small island in the Atlantic Ocean off the mainland of South America, Brazil to be exact, and it's Mario de Sao Paulo. And we were there just walking through, and this young man was curious with us, and we were curious with him, and I captured him in a moment. And this is what has come from that. So it's a little culture that's part of this as well. International flavor and culture. And again, people, places, and things. From San Francisco and around the world. I haven't even ventured in this area, so it's really interesting. You can find your comfort and stay in one area of the game. Oh, there we go. Flip once, flip twice. Remember, this photograph was taken of me in my brand new red suede shoes in Santa Cruz. I was walking by. I think I had these shoes for just a few weeks, and there was a mirror that was reflecting, and I stopped and took a picture of myself. Gotta do that from time to time. Flip once, flip twice. Flip once. So I just saw that one. Okay. See, it's between here and here. See, I was flipping a little too quickly for my own good. I believe it's this one. Ah, there we go. Whoop, there it is. Sign of the season, blackberries and mango. This was taken on my kitchen table right here in the heart and soul of the Mission District. Flip once, flip twice, up. Remember, this young man was climbing rocks at Ocean Beach, and I just admired his athletic abilities, and I captured him in mid-flight. The cameras that I use is my cell phone camera, point and click cameras, my DSL or DSR camera?
DSLR.
DSLR. So I've used various cameras of all types, basically whatever was on my person. at the moment. Obviously, when I have my DSLR, I'm more intentional and focused on a specific shoot. But my power shots I carry in my back pocket. Oops. And that's when I really capture random, but random yet intentional. There's so much beauty in the world. There we go. This is taken downtown San Francisco. What's interesting about this photograph is that it's historic in many regards because the F train is out of circulation because of the time that we're in. So this is a moment in time. It's just individuals, transients, getting on public transit, getting off public transit downtown San Francisco. I found its match. I've seen this one. Flip once, flip twice, remembered. There we go. This photograph was taken Crissy Field, the Presidio, around 3:30 in the morning. I basically put my camera within the gutter, on the gutter, in the gutter, and played with lighting, and these beautiful patterns showed up. I never touched this one. Flip once, flip twice. Sometimes the cards can be right next to each other. Flip once. There we go. Flip twice. Remembered. This young man was at Oakland Pride about 5 years ago. He was obviously just beaming with energy and joy and excitement, and I captured him doing his thing. Flip once. Flip twice. Flip once. Oops. Flip twice. There we go. It's just some random patterns. I was playing with lighting. I placed my camera down on the ground, had the lens pointed toward the sky, and I just danced with lighting. And this beautiful abstract work came out. So the uniqueness of Kumbu Kumbu is the imagery itself. It's these dynamic photographs of people, places, and things from here in San Francisco and around the world. So it's an artistic project. So that's the difference between Kumbu Kumbu and other card games. Is that it's an artistic project of my original photographs, 28 original photographs that I've captured myself. It's a high quality card. The paper itself, it's still paper, so it still has to be handled with some level of care because it is paper overall and you're interacting with it. But it's the highest quality that was available from the service that I had manufactured. Okay, right here. Here we go. Kumbu Kumbu. Flip once, flip twice. This photograph was taken in Salvador, Brazil. And it's a dance and drumming troupe that was just carrying on in Palerino, which is a neighborhood within Salvador. What's here? I don't think I ventured. Flip once. Flip twice. There we go. Flip once. Flip twice. This is taken at a dance studio here in San Francisco. It's an aerial dance studio. And this young lady was flying in the air, and I captured her in flight. And that's its match. Flip once. Oops. I haven't seen this one since we started the game. Right here. Flip twice. Whoop. There it is. Remember. This photograph was taken in Baja California, Mexico, about 40 miles south of Tijuana. It was a local restaurant, family-owned restaurant that my friend and I were eating at every day. And while I was waiting for my food, I just liked the patterns and the contrast of the contemporary yet this old bar stool and just captured it for what it is. Flip once, flip twice. Nope. Flip once. Here we go. Flip twice. Wonderful. This photograph was taken in Washington State. I was amazed with the size of the vessels that float and the sound. I can't remember exactly which sound it was, but it was just incredible to see the size of the vessels that were floating in this area of Edmonds, Washington. It was captivating and beautiful to see. And it seemed like a brand new vessel because this yellow with the white against the blue water was just very powerful. It's very extremely just popping with colors. Flip once, flip twice. Flip once, flip twice. Oop, there we go. This photograph was taken in the birthplace, one of the many birthplaces of the Civil Rights Movement in Greensboro, North Carolina, right next to the what was it called? Woolworths, the original Woolworths department store, where a group of college students insisted on sitting at the coffee counter to be served, and they were harshly treated. So right next door where this alley is and where this pattern is where one of the many places where the Civil Rights Movement was birthed. So that's the significance of, and also just the patterns and the colors was just fun to capture. I haven't seen that twin yet. So as you can see how the cards have taken shape on their own. And again, when you're playing with a group, the idea is hopefully you remember, even though they shifted just because of movement, you remember where the cards are. Sometimes they may shift throughout the board, and hopefully you are remembering as the cards are being flipped. Flip once, flip twice. Flip once, oops. Flip twice. Oh, here we go. This photograph was taken at Grand Central Station, New York City. I found its match. Flip once. That's the ferry building. Flip twice. Oh. Flip once, flip twice. Here we go. This photograph was taken at Union Square, downtown San Francisco. It was a group of young men with miniature bikes, and they stopped for a moment. And I just like the juxtaposition of the bikes. It was probably like 20 young people, and they were just kicking back for a moment. And just moments in time, and that's what a photograph is. It's a moment in time. Flip once, flip twice. Flip once, flip twice. There we go. This photograph was taken at King Canyon National Park around 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 p.m. It was chilly as all get out, but the air was fresh as the air was just so fresh and beautiful, and I was able to see the constellations by being in the middle of this canyon during that hour of the night. Flip once, here we go, flip twice. Here is San Francisco's ferry building. Same thing, 3 a.m. in the morning. There was not a creature or stirring, or limited creatures are stirring. So here we are. As you can see, 2, 4, 5. So there is a challenge card that I call it here. And that's for specifically if you're playing with a group. If you're playing with a group, the importance of remembering exactly where the cards are, specifically down to just a handful, 5 cards, because if one is not focused, your co-players are not focused, that's your advantage. So, flip once, flip twice. Yep, here we go. This was taken at the opposite end of the Powell Street cable car track, but on the Fisherman Wharf side. Here we go, flip once. Now, I do remember, but just imagine if you're playing with a group and you're all riled up, lots of personality, lots of energy, people chatting. It can make all the difference for someone. So, however, flip once, flip twice. There we go. I found its match. I found its twin. So this is the challenge card. I call it the challenge card. This is the card that adds that last ounce, that last step, adversity, challenge to the game, specifically if you're playing with a group. This photograph was taken in Salvador, Brazil, of a street artist. I was getting my hair retwisted. I used to have locks once upon a time, and while I was having my hair locked, he came over and painted my arm. and I was able to capture him because he was in my close proximity. So this is Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. You can challenge yourself, you can challenge others. The Kumbu Kumbu was created out of passion, and it was created out of a fondness of my special education teachers that I had back in the 1970s, 1971, 1972, when the art form of a learning disability, dyslexia, was new, and it was just being discovered and focused on. And luckily, I had these teachers that were very passionate about teaching and learning. And Kumbu Kumbu, well, the concentration game, the match game, was a game that was instrumental in my learning. It was one of the few games and one of the few learning tools that I was able to utilize that helped me build my confidence, where I actually saw and was able to measure my growth. Even though I didn't understand what was happening in the classroom, I felt like I was living in a fog most of the time. But when I played the concentration game, it made me feel confident, it made me feel assured, it gave me self-esteem. And so I created Kumbu Kumbu out of respect and out of the fond memories of what the concentration game means to me. And I hope it will mean the same to you as well. It's fun, it's interactive, it's educational, it's easy, it's challenging, it's exciting, it's beautiful images of people, places, and things taken in San Francisco and around the world, and this is my gift to you. You can check me out at fingersnaps.net, 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 or you can drop in at the studios at Fingersnaps Media Arts in the heart and soul of the Mission District right here in San Francisco. Kumbu Kumbu is available right now on my website, which is fingersnaps.net, fingersnaps.net, fingersnaps.net. And remember, create something beautiful for yourself and others. I'm Kurt Bransford Young.
Kumbu Kumbu, the visual memory card game. Flip once, flip twice, remembered. Challenge yourself, challenge others.
Fingersnaps Media Arts.